What makes a business a category king or queen, and how do you design for that?
I think everything like this starts with having a unique point of view. So in the lockdown, ironically, we were forced to kind of stop and ask ourselves this exact question purely by accident from finding Play Bigger by Christopher Lockhead,
Hmm.
which is a pretty cool book. In the broader sense, a category king or queen is someone who just owns a lot of their market. So think of like an Uber versus a Bolt, for example, in Europe, a McDonald's, a Burger King, a Nike, a Reebok. I know they're not, you could argue, exact examples, but there typically is somebody who dominates their entire market. And what the book and Christopher Lockhead, who was a consultant, who he would go into old and new businesses and get them thinking in like a different way from inception, or to turn around how a traditionally kind of slow incumbent business would operate. He would again start asking them things like, what's your unique perspective? What's your unique point of view? And I think it's Peter Thiel who has a similar expression, which is like what do you believe that no one else believes to be true? It's a little bit like that. And it's quite cool because it gets you thinking like, why are we doing this way? Or are we literally just doing it the same way as everyone else? Surprise, surprise, if you're doing this thing the same way as everyone else, you're going to find some stiff competition, some difficult questions. And life's going to get quite tricky when you're having to literally explain why your thing is better than the other thing when from the outside it's pretty much the same. So that's kind of the general premise of it. Worst case scenario, I would suggest that everyone just reads that, because in the worst case, you're going to have some ideas. Probably it's going to stimulate some interesting thoughts. For us, it helped us build for outcomes where we win most of the time. So that would be the best way to explain it. How can we, or you, as a business owner, as a product builder, design like an environment where you can win most of the time? And by win, I mean explain to a potential buyer that the reason why the thing that you have is better than the next thing. And typically that comes down to something that the other thing doesn't have, even if it's just a belief. That's the crazy thing. Even if the way you believe it should be approached is just aligned better with that individual's need, that alone is better. That's enough to get things going. Beyond that, you would need to have the product doing the things that you believe. We believe moving things from A to B should be easy. Okay, well, how is it easy? And there's your kind of on-ramp. If it's very, very dry and tell us what you want to move from here to here, and there is no belief, there's no perspective, there's no viewpoint, it also means that you've probably not understood the viewpoint of your buyer either. So what's their perspective? And does all that align? It's kind of like dating in a weird way. You're sort of trying to do a little bit of a dance and see if what you believe resonates with what they believe, and can you work together? We've spoken to who knows how many different third-party providers to help us build some of the stuff that we use in our products, and you could just work with certain people way better. That is obviously individualistic to the person, but there's a culture and a belief system in the business itself that seems to permeate through everything that company does. And you get a vibe for that. I think people can pick up on that quite well. So in a nutshell, that the category king, category design is like, what little world do you want to make for yourself? Who are you talking to and who are you inviting into your little world? And then whenever someone visits your little world, what do they see? What do they feel? What emotions do they get? Like, what's the vibe when talking to you? Is it fun? Is it cold? Is it boring? Is it serious? Is it trustworthy? All that comes into then the design side as well. So you can see how there's a really nice segue there into how do I showcase my point of view or our business's point of view? And then we can start to get into the design side of things from there.
Hey, it's Ryan here. If you liked that video, please click the like and subscribe button somewhere down there and check out the full interview right over here. Go on, click it. You know you want to.